Welcome back to In the North Bank. It's Derby Day. Arsenal against Chelsea. Under the lights of the Emirates Stadium, we're breaking down the season's head-to-head. Arsenal's home form, Chelsea's current form, the tactical battle, and our score predictions. Smash the like and drop your scores in the chat, and let's cook. And guys, let us know in the chat. Do Arsenal win or do Chelsea win? Okay, so let's get on with it. Before I go any further, let me introduce my guests. We have the governor here, the Bray. How you doing, mate?
Yeah, not too bad, Des. Yeah, just busy. Unfortunately, with all work.
Thank you for your time. Down the bottom, we've got the star-spangled, what do you call him? How you doing, Brian?
Hey, what's going on, guys? Good to see y'all.
Good. And of course, we have Richard, who you all know pretty well. I don't need to use any more words. How you doing, mate?
Yeah, I'm pretty undescribable. I'm brilliant. And yourself?
That's not you couldn't be further from the truth. I'm absolutely fine. Right, lads, let's crack on with this. So we're going to go into the head-to-head. The fixture's been a spicy fixture this season against Arsenal against Chelsea. So is this the fourth time we've played? It's the third or fourth time we've played them, isn't it?
It'll be the fourth time.
The fourth time. There we go. The fourth time. So in the last meeting, who was the most tactical between the two teams? Paul, I'm going to come to you first because you're on borrowed time, mate. So I'll let you get out as much as you can.
The most tactical were, well, in all honesty, were probably us. Are we talking about the Premier League? Are we talking about? Or?
Yeah, Premier League.
Okay. Sorry, I thought the last game I was going by the Carabao Cup.
Sorry, I should have been more specific. The Premier League.
All right. I would say, I think it was a good battle. In all honesty, I think we played well. So I think tactically wise, I think we were probably better on them, being away from home as well.
Okay, so did we press Chelsea enough, or were they beating us in transition? In your opinion?
I don't think there was a huge amount in it, to be honest. I mean, they scored early on. Well, sorry, early in the second half, and then I think it was Mikel Merino goal, wasn't it? And after that, which then got the 1-1. Look, we had a proper makeshift defence on that day as well. So we come into it quite barren in quality. You look at, say, Calafiori, Hincapié, Mosquera, and Timber at the back. And then when you then suddenly look at it, you think, Christ, there's no Gabriel, there's no Saliba. You've got Declan Rice, Zubimendi, Eze Mourinho, Martinelli, I think, and then Saka. I mean, it was a battling result, and I thought we done really well, and it was certainly feisty anyway.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. Same questions to you, Brian. Who was the most tactical, in your opinion? Who was the most tactical in that game, and did we press them, or did they beat us on transition, or vice versa? In your opinion, what do you think?
I mean, it's really hard to tell because, Chelsea did go down to 10 men, and then, Chelsea did score early in the second half. When you score 10v11, the only way you can score is on the transition. Wait, refresh my memory. How did they score off a set piece? I can't remember.
I think it was Chalobah.
Yeah, it was.
That's right.
It was, yeah.
So I mean, I guess that kind of, negates the point that I was going to make there. But, it's difficult to really look at a tactical battle if you're playing 10v11, because it was fairly even in the first half until that red card. I mean, you kind of have to say, you know, it was a balance. It was a balance.
Okay, cool. Your thoughts on it, Richard? Same questions to you.
To be honest, I thought we were doing quite well. The sending off did change the game, and then with the there was a little tweak where each game's dropped into that sort of hybrid right back midfield role like we use with our fullbacks, and he was quite strong in that game when he came on, and I thought it took a while for us to adjust to that and deal with his intensity and what he brought to their midfield. But overall, I thought we were doing what we wanted to do during that match, which is press them. But we know they're weak on the transition. We know they're weak defensively at set pieces, and we were targeting those areas to try and. I felt again, like a lot of this season, there's frustration that when you win the ball up high and you get the ball forward, either the final ball is poor or the end shot isn't clinical enough, and that ended up putting us in a position of having to get back into the game.
Fair enough.
You know what though? Like think about this, right? Like this game was months ago at this point, and Enzo Maresca was still the manager of Chelsea at that point. Like I would be more concerned about, you know, the two games that we've played, you know, in the Carabao Cup. When I mean, Rosenior totally screwed the pooch on the tactics in the second leg of the semifinal. But I mean, you know, we dominated Chelsea in both of those Carabao Cup semifinal games. We really did.
Yeah. So then the question is: have you got a slide for this one, for this section, Richard? Or
no, there is no slide for this section.
Right, it's the next one. Sorry. Okay. So the question is how do Paul come back to you, mate? How do we walk into this game? Do we walk after the 4-1 thrashing of Tottenham? And let's be honest, Arteta has flipped Arsenal round in a week after the Wolves game. Yeah. So after the 4-1 beating of Tottenham, do we come into this game really? Obviously, we're coming confident, but does that make us cocky? I mean, what do you think, mate?
I don't think it'll be cocky. I think what will be set into them is that they have got a massive job on their hands. I mean, there's no pressure or challenge to get the players up for a game now, especially playing against Chelsea. 10 games left. They know straight full well now that every game now is absolutely massive. So I can't see any kind of issues with regards to that. My concern, I don't know who the referee is actually for the weekend, but I know it was Anthony Taylor, I think, on that first one. And like I said, my biggest take from that game was that the amount of yellow cards that we got, I think we got a fine for the game. And before Casado got sent off, they could have had 2 red cards before that. But every tackle we came up with, it would be a yellow card straight away. And I think by the time Casado got sent off after about 40 odd minutes, we'd had about 4 yellow cards. I think it worked out, and then I think it was like Cucurella finally got booked after about 2-3 tackle. I think that was it. So he could have been sent off before that. He was let go, and then finally after his third life, he got booked. So that was my biggest take from that game, was that we weren't able to kind of play our game because we weren't being officiated the same way.
I get you. No,
I mean, Chelsea were battering us in the way of literally going in and leaving a foot in every time.
It felt like they were trying to do damage, Paul. Yeah,
and that's where I look at it. I just think, well, look, any kind of little challenge or whatever, a card.
And Caicedo got a straight red, didn't he?
No,
I thought he did.
It was upgraded to a red, but it was initially a yellow. But he was sent to the screen, and upon review, he upgraded it to a red. But that's what when VAR works properly, when it's used properly, and works well. But it's Darren England is the official on Sunday. We had him against. He was the official for Tottenham.
He had another trip to Dubai, didn't he, or the States, didn't he?
I don't know, but we have a very good home record with him in charge.
So
he officiated us 8 times at home. We've had 6 wins, one draw, 1 loss, and we've never received the red card from him. 10 yellows, and he's never given us a penalty. So they're the stats. But the fact that we've won 10 times with him in charge, it isn't a bad omen.
Right. So,
No.
Brian, the same question to you, mate. How do you want Arsenal to walk into this game at the weekend?
I mean, I want us to walk in, like we have to win. I want us to walk in professionally, like, when we played the bag of smashed assholes the other week. I think we did come in cocky. They're historically bad, right? And so it's like, all right, we're going to come in, we're going to batter them 5-0, and then we obviously didn't. And then we got up for the North London derby and went in and smack Tottenham around. I think that's the way we need to approach, all these games, is that, not that we're gonna smash them, but like we want to smash them.
But
there's a completely different mindset there.
I was just going to say, it's like what Paul said, though. Every game is a cup final. We need 3 points from every game now, don't we? So that must, Richard, that must change your attitude a bit, does it? Does it not?
No, we have to give them the respect, knowing that they have players that can hurt us. But we've got to go out there and be professional. And there are certain players like Gyökeres who bullied, especially for his goal and the assist in Ezra's second goal, who was bullied the defenders. And you've got no Fofana, no Cucurella, so that means either Gusto's going to play left back, and there's no Reece James or Esteval. So and it's either Gusto or Hato, and that's not a decent. I think it's not probably Ashapong, Tosin, and Badiashile are the centre back options he's got to choose from. Now, Achapong is quite a youngster, so there's a real opportunity for Gyökeres after his performance against Spurs to go out there and put himself about a bit like Didier Drogba, be a handful, and make sure they know they've been in the match and get on the score sheet even.
Well, does Rosenior typically play with a back 3, or does he play with a back 4? Like a back 3 with wingbacks.
It's back 3 with wingbacks, isn't it? Yeah, that's what he played in the 2. How he played, but he could change it up. But he'll go with what he'll always default to what his preferred system is.
Paul, what did the managers take into this one? What lessons do they take into this one, in your opinion?
lessons from Arteta, I would say, is that he has to make sure the players are ready and willing. I think there also has to be the willingness to almost play the fresher players as well. I look at Mosquera coming on for Timber at the weekend, and there's a different sense of hunger. There's a different sense of energy when someone comes on. I put it the same thing with Declan Rice as well. Slightly off or overcooked, just in general, just of amount of game time and playing time, where they're kind of just they seem to be struggling.
I agree with you on that, by the way.
Yeah, Timber. I think certainly at Molineux, I think he got whacked. And you look at it, and you just think it just doesn't look the same kind of player. I mean, the Molineux game was crazy. I mean, it could not put a pass together on that game, and yeah, it kind of continued a little bit into the North London derby. At times, it was better, but as I said, it was one of those where it just looked a little bit leggy on that side. So I'm hoping that his eyes have been opened a little bit on that side, and that he can be a little bit more freer and allow those kind of changes and the players in and around the team to come in and do a job and get those minutes. I would say Rosenior would probably be more, it's always ifs and buts, isn't there, with him? Should we have gone more attacking or not? I mean, they didn't try.
No, yeah.
And that's probably his regret on that side. He's probably wanted to keep us out more than going for it when it really mattered. But yeah, that'd be my take on that.
Richard, do you agree with Paul, or have you got more to add?
A little bit more to add. You see, I don't think coming to the Emirates, sitting in the mid to low block for 60 minutes works for Chelsea. They can't defend. Their best defenders is out. So if I was Rosenior, I'd be looking at keeping the ball up in our half of the pitch and nullifying their weaknesses. And I wouldn't be playing out. I'd be getting the ball up into our half and bypassing that midfield, and just trying to win second balls and making it ugly and scrappy, because I think that's where, if they're going to get any type of a success, that will be where it is. Otherwise, even with Caicedo, it will probably be Santos and Fernandez. They didn't in the first in the games that they played dominate the midfield until they put an extra body to overrun us. It took them to put an extra body into midfield to win that midfield battle.
Yeah.
So that's how I'd see it. I think they can't. They're in a position, because if they don't go for it, there is every chance they're dropping out of Champions League contention. And if they go for it and open up, we rip them apart and they're out of it anyway. So it's which stall do I set out for him? And he's got to get that right.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool, mate. Do you agree with the guys? Brian, have you got any more you want to add, or just say how you feel?
No, Rich actually kind of stole what I was going to say there. As far as teams that come to the Emirates, and if they try and run with us, we rip them apart. Rosenior, yeah, he knows he got the tactics wrong the last time that he came to the Emirates. So I think because he is an inexperienced manager. I think it was with Strasbourg for like 2 or 3 seasons maybe, if that. And then all of a sudden, he got bumped up to one of the biggest jobs in the Premier League, if not the world. You know, I think that he's going to be a lot more, what's the word? Like, I guess a lot more sensitive to the criticism that he may be getting from the media, from the pundits, you know, from social media. And so I think that, yeah, he's gonna try and open up, because the way they sit right now, you know, talking about talking about all the injuries and everything like that, yeah, their attack is a lot better than their defense. And so I think that the idea that they're gonna have is they're gonna go out and, you know, try and score 3 and hope that we only score 2 or 3. You know, I don't see us, you know, like if he opens up like that, I could see us, you know, definitely putting a crooked number up on the scoreboard. But, you know, what that crooked number may be, couldn't tell you.
Okay, mate, that's cool. That kind of brings me on to the next section that we're going to go into. But before I do, I'm just quickly jumping in the chat because we do have a message. It's Emerson. Afternoon, Emerson, Paul, Brian, and Richard. Des, thank you. Thank you, mate. Thanks for being here.
Good morning,
Right.
Emerson.
Second. Oh, sorry.
Good morning, Emerson.
Oh, cool. So we kind of touched on it. Arsenal, the Emirates, has become a fortress this season. So, you know, how do we start this game, Paul? Do we need to start fast? Do we need to work Chelsea out? Or do we need to work them out? Or do we go all guns blazing? In your opinion, what do we do? Paul, put your mic on, mate. You're on mute. Paul, you're on mute.
Sorry. Sorry. So I think there's always the element of feeling each other out. I think that's always going to be that kind of thing. Just understand where the press is, how we can kind of set up against them. It allows everyone to kind of just get a feel for both systems, and then I'd expect us to just still be playing with a high tempo from the start. I think there's that little period, and then it suddenly starts becoming a kind of football match or whatever like that. I don't think it's going to be a total mad chaos run start to the game. I mean, a goal will totally change that, but yeah, I think it'll be a lot of feeling out. And as I said, going from that last game, I still think it's going to be a similar kind of one where he's probably not wanting to. He's probably going to accept the draw would be a decent result going away from home. And that's why I said it's then up to us to make the break and make the telling details in the game, and that's in and around their box, and they're making sure we do pass the ball quick and make the right intelligent runs, and hopefully that will be enough to see us through the game.
Cool. Richard?
Yeah, I mean, I think the important thing is to give the crowd a confidence boost, because at home there's a nervousness, especially when things passes go away. Your final ball, your final shot isn't accurate, and they start to get quiet, and a nervous energy builds up. So we need to sort of give them something to feed on, a bit like the Tottenham game. It has to be controlled, because you don't want to just go gung ho and leave yourself open to possible counters. You've got to respect the strengths of Cole Palmer, João Pedro, and the likes of Garnacho and Neto, who are very good on the counter. You've got to also put your best foot forward, and when we purr and we're on it going forward, we're pretty strong. I mean, our home form, we're scoring about two and a bit goals a game at home, and we've conceded less than one a game at home. So we know what our strengths are. We've got to play to them.
I knew he'd get the stats in there at some point, lads. I knew he'd do that. What do you think about Arsenal being a fortress, Brian?
Yeah, sometimes it does get a little quiet. Sometimes it does. You can definitely hear it on the TV. I'm sure Paul, you hear it. Actually being at the games. We're talking about how we want to start the game. Do we want to start the game? Balls to the wall. Do we want to? Oh, and also that is not a nasty term. Balls to the wall is not a nasty term. I think, honestly, I think it's really going to depend on how Chelsea come out. How we want to respond to it, because we have way more quality than they do. Arteta is an immeasurably better manager than Rosenior is. And so, if they come out guns blazing, then we come out guns blazing. If they come out, in the low block, then that's when we should be more possession based. Definitely, coming out hot, that is going to get the crowd more into the game and get, more of the energy into the players and everything like that. But, in as much as the place being a fortress, as long as you get the 3 points, I don't think it matters that much.
Right, okay, that's cool. That's fine. Richard, I disagree with this picture, right? Because it's hard enough to get into the ground as it is. So why have you put a castle in front of it?
Because it's the one when you Google Fortress Arsenal, that's what they come up with. It's
Right.
but I'm pretty impressed with whoever created that and it did for this segment. It gave that imagery of the Emirates being a fortress, which, if you think, we played 13 games, we've won 10 of them, we've drawn 2 and only lost 1 at home this season. And City have played 1 more game at home, and they've had 1 more win, but they've had the same amount of draws and losses. So home form is always vital.
So I've got a double-edged question. I've got a double-edged question for you here, guys. I'm going to come to you first, Paul. How we press a team can create loads of set pieces for us, free kicks, corners, yeah. But on the other side of it, overcommitting makes us leave massive spaces at the back. Do you agree, or can you give us another look on it as you go to the games and you see it with the naked eye, mate? Do you see it like that?
Yeah, I think in general, when everyone kind of pushes up, again, if it's and this is the pros and cons of the high press. I mean, if everyone is in kilt and everyone is doing it at the right pace, the right timing, then it's great. It causes mayhem for them. Really hard to get out. If 1 or 2 of those elements in that press are even a second behind, too slow, then that's where a problem comes in. A ball gets slipped in to the centre and then it kind of goes out into the channels. It does leave gaps, and especially with the inverted the wing back when he kind of comes in field. There will be times, and Chelsea probably are more geared up for that kind of counter, in all honesty, with the pace. Obviously, the injured players are a big loss for them. I think on that side, certainly Esteval, but as I said,
and Dickens as well, I believe. So
yeah. As I say, there are pros and cons, and that's what I've said. If they do it right, they create chaos for the other team. Yeah, and as I said, if we are a little bit laboured in how we do things or a little bit slow in getting to players, we give them the option, and we've seen it away from home as well, probably more clearly, because that is it, and the ability to play a pass through the midfield. I mean, it only takes Rice to kind of pop up midfield a little bit more, and then you're basically running on the defence or Zubamendi, or it's you look at it and just you can see it at times, but majority of time it is controlled, and certainly at home, I think it is. I think the only time where it went a bit wonky at home was that Man United game, and that was that. The result obviously followed it up, but as I said, it's one of those where you do it right. It's a great tool. If you don't, then you're open for it.
Totally agree, mate. Totally agree. Emerson says, what did he say? He says, Des, just play our normal game and it will be cat and mouse. Fair enough, mate. Richard, your thoughts on that double question, mate? The way we play and leaving gaps. What's your thoughts on that, mate?
I mean, yes, the press is going to be big. We know that Chelsea like to play out. Sanchez is dodgy with the ball at his feet. And I think we scored one of our goals from a poor pass from him last time. And we get it right. We win our duels when we're pressing. It's okay if we miss a duel or we're too slow to it, as Paul said. But they will play through us.
Mm-hmm.
But that's where Arteta has to decide: am I going to just leave Saliba and Gabriel as a back two, or am I dropping Zubamendi in there and having it as a 3-2-5 rather than a 2-3-5? And that's where he'll have to get his tactics spot on. But if we're on top of our game and we do it right, I only see one outcome.
Okay, cool. Brian, same question to you, bro.
I think it really depends, what team we're playing against as to whether or not we can be hurt by the high press like that. I mean, I know that's a very well, no shit, Sherlock type answer, but Richard, kind of to your point, about whether we have, the back two or the back three. If you look at Zubamendi, and as the season has gone on, I've loved Zubamendi more and more and more. He's always been the guy to make the pass before the pass, right? Or to make that clutch interception. And so I feel like if we're pressing high, then we need Zubamendi up into the midfield. We don't need him back in the back line because we want him to be, part of that engine there. And to respond to Emerson, I don't think it's going to be a cat and mouse game. I don't think it is, because cat and mouse implies that, tactically you're equal to the other team, and Chelsea isn't like that. That's it. It's not going to be a cat and mouse. It's going to be, kind of, I think it's going to try and be, a sledgehammer versus, a razor blade, if you will, with us being the razor blade and just cutting through, whereas Chelsea is just going to kind of, try and hammer their way out of their half.
Cool, mate. Thank you for that. So I'll ask the chat, is the Emirates a fortress? Let me know. I think it has been this season. I will say one thing before I move on to the next bit. I must admit, I want us to start faster. I know quite a few games this season we've been working teams out, but I just want us to start faster. We've got the players to do it. If you can get it done in the first half, get it done in the first half. I know that's a really, really simplistic way of saying it, but that's how I see it. So chat, is the Emirates a fortress in your opinion? Let us know in the chat. So we're going to go on to Chelsea's current form. So this is a nice little slide that Richard's put together. Can you, before I ask any questions, Richard, can you quickly describe this slide for us, mate?
Yeah, it's Chelsea's form over their last 10 games. And as you can see, there are more draws and losses in it than there are wins. And just just having a look at their away form, they're averaging 1.69 points away from home, and they've got a 46% their away win percentage is slightly higher on their home at 46%, but yeah, that is still low for a team wanting to
Champions League.
challenge for Champions League spots and all titles, as they thought they were at one stage.
Right. Okay. So again, it kind of leads me into a double question for you, Paul. Right. What, in your opinion, what are Chelsea doing well right now? And we all know where they struggle with defensive and concentration, and possible game management. What take have you got on that regarding from Chelsea, mate?
Again, I think a bit of naivety. I think they've done well with regards to the players. I mean, they have signed 110 players through the last 2 years, and some of that mud is going to stick, and you're going to unearth some gems there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, look, they've got a lot of decent young players, and with that comes a bit of energy. Yeah, you know, and again, built on counter-attacks, built on running at players. But with that, as young players, you're going to get the inconsistencies as well. And that's probably what's really killed them, is that inconsistency of not having the experience to do what they're doing. But as I say, they've picked up some decent results through the season. It's just literally you don't know what team really will turn up.
Yeah,
like I say, in that semi-final, like I said, it could have been. I mean, we should have been off the park 4-0 in the first half, and we end up 3-2. And
it flattered them, didn't it?
Yeah, and you look at it like that, and you just think, well, look, we could have absolutely annihilated them. But then, yeah, we've let them in, so they have got players that can do us a misservice. But it's one of those. It depends on what kind of Chelsea turns up.
Yeah. Richard,
if it's an Arsenal team that's 5-10% off what they should be, this is where you have these kind of issues.
Yeah, no, that's a fair point. Yeah, fair point. Your thoughts on it, Richard? What are they doing well, and obviously what are they struggling with? What's your opinion? Do you agree with Paul, or do you want to add to it?
Yeah, I mean, you look at certain games. You look at the City game and the game against us where they get goals, played really well, brilliant. But then you look at Leeds and Burnley just recently, getting draws, but they were lucky to come away with draws. They could have easily lost those games. They played poorly, and again, it's probably that age thing where they are young, and you're not going to get a consistent level of performance. But they need to start getting that consistency, because if they want to go and challenge for titles, consistency is the key. That's why we're at the top of the table. That's why we are where we are in the Champions League. Our form all season has been consistent. I mean, just for a look, our points per game average is 2.18 a season. It's dropped slightly from a high of 2.25. Not much of a drop there. And at home, we're averaging 2.46. So we are really, really consistent when we in how we play and how we perform week in, week out.
Fair enough, mate. Brian, same double question to you, mate. What are they doing well? What are they doing wrong, in your opinion?
I mean, obviously, not playing well over the past. Well, let me take it back a little bit. So, Chelsea haven't played a good team since they played us in the second leg of the semifinal. You know, like Richard said, you know, they drew 1-1 at home to Burnley. That's terrible. You know, Leeds, I don't think Leeds is as bad as people say they are and as the table suggests. You know, I think with Dominic Calvert-Lewin, you know, really finding his legs, I think Leeds are better than what people say. You know, Wolves, they're back smashed assholes. Have been the entire season, will be the rest of the season and next year in the championship. You know, West Ham, not great. You know, Palace, they're not great either. And so, you know, I guess really the only thing that you can say is that, you know, their attack is decent because, you know, when they've won, you know, they beat Wolves 3-1, they beat West Ham 3-2, and so, you know, they are getting the production. But I think their bigger issue is that they step on their own cranks and they'll make a lot of mistakes in midfield, or, you know, Sanchez will pull a Sanchez, which arguably is worse than Raya pulling a Raya. You know, but I mean, it's really hard to say. It's really hard to say.
Okay. Right, Aisha has joined us. Hello, Aisha. She's full of compliments as usual, Richard. Oh, Jesus, I was having a bad day at work, and then I came on YouTube and found you Muppets here. There's no Muppets.
You must be Kermit. I must be Mr.
Yeah, there's no Muppets here, mate. Don't worry about it. Right, yeah, so, yeah, right, okay. We were talking about Chelsea. Sorry, I nearly fell asleep because I'm bored about talking about them, to be honest. But there we go. That's just me. I think Chelsea are having the same sort of season as we had last season, losing to people that they shouldn't be losing to, drawing with people that they shouldn't be drawing with. And we've turned it around. We're the complete opposite now. We are, you know, we're going out to win every game. Yes, when we get a draw, it's disappointing for the fans. And yes, it's a draw, but we still haven't lost. Gyökeres is 15 goals in all competitions now, 10 goals for the season. Highest goal scorer since Christmas in the league. But still he receives negativity. I mean, it's just the way it is. We'll talk about that maybe in a minute. But so the next segment, can I just say Richard wrote this, okay? Just as a thing. This is where it gets nerdy. Mikel Arteta versus Enzo Mosquera. Control versus chaos. So you want to bring up a chalkboard, Richard? Can you please explain your chalkboard?
Yeah, the chalkboard I had, and I'll do it. I can't bring it up on here.
Oh, it's not working. Oh, right, okay.
Because it's being a pain. Which is I've got 4 slides here, and this is how Chelsea set up, which was a sort of a 4-2-3-1 last time in the when they came to us, and then they 4-2-1-3, and then it showed how they where we got quite a bit of joy down on their left wing, and then it shows where Chelsea got a lot of joy by bypassing the midfield and sort of targeting the right back area where Timber tends to get forward quite a bit, and they were trying to isolate whoever was out on that left wing, isolate Saliba with him. And it's showing how each of those tactics worked, and what the shape was when it was good, and what the shape was when it didn't work, and why it necessarily didn't work.
It doesn't quite work when you haven't got the slides, Rich.
Yeah, that's an issue. They wouldn't load up for some reason.
No. I get the point you're making. So basically, we're looking at here. It's the build-up patterns, isn't it? Against the mid block.
Yeah.
Paul, what do you think about tactically how we played against them last time, and will we do the same again, or do you think we'll change it up again, Paul? You're on mute again, mate.
Yeah, sorry. There's a big difference from playing at home to playing away. I mean, we done well in that game away from home. Yeah, we were finding space, but again, Chelsea were breaking up the play in any way they could. And if they could give us a kick, they would. I expect the same kind of thing. I think we'll be looking to kind of play into wide areas. And again, with probably Trossard coming in, and he's probably going to be cutting in and doing his normal thing. Yeah, I think it's going to be a standard kind of display with how we actually deal with teams at home. I think we will go for them, and I think we will get space behind them as well. I don't think they can shut us out without the players that they've got missing.
Yeah, I get you. Brian, I nearly forgot your name there for a second, mate. Right, I'm coming to you now. What's your thoughts on the mid block against us from Chelsea? How are you feeling about it?
I mean, I think Saka, I mean, of course, Kukureya's not playing, but Saka ate Kukureya's lunch for him, took his afternoon tea, took his mom out for a nice seafood dinner and never called her again. Loves playing against Kukureya. Unfortunately, Kukureya is not out there to, get all pissy and everything like that. I do think from a mid block, you do have to play off the wings, unless you've got unless Odegaard has a great game, you are going to have to play off the wings. So you are going to have to get Trossard involved. You are going to have to get Saka involved. But with the mid block, because their defenders and their midfielders are going to be a little bit higher on the pitch, that gives Gyökeres a little bit more room to do what he does.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So that brings me on to key duels. Chelsea wingers against Arsenal fullbacks. Richard, how do you see that going, mate?
Well, we know how electric Garnacho can be. We know what Neto provides. What we have to do is be solid and get back into shape on transition, and have our midfield and wingers double up and help them out. However, I think it's more important that we make their wingers go the other way and make them defend, because they're not as good as that as Saka and Martinelli and Trossard are.
Okay, cool. Did I ask you key duels, Brian? Or no, it was the other one I asked you before, wasn't it? What about the key duels for you? How do you see it working out, mate? Brian?
Who, me? Oh.
Yeah. You're the only one called Brian.
I didn't hear you say Brian.
Oh, okay, well, turn your hearing aid up then, will you?
Yeah, no, right. I think I think Garnacho is good on his day, but he doesn't have a lot of days. That's what I feel like it.
Fair comment.
Is Cole Palmer injured again, or is he?
No, he's available, but I expect him to play sort of a 10 or an 8.
I mean, I think whoever Palmer is going to go up against, I think that's going to be a key duel, because Cole Palmer's their most dangerous player. Hands down, he's their most dangerous player. As far as, our most dangerous player versus theirs, I think that's really going to come down to Gyökeres versus versus whoever their center back pairing or whoever the center back is, because we know Saka is going to be able to do what Saka does on the right. Martinelli or Trossard they're going to be able to do what they need to do. You know, the question and the duel that we really need to win is, if it's not Gyökeres for whatever reason, whoever that number 9 is, that's the duel that needs to be won.
Okay. Paul, your thoughts on the mid block against us? Basically dominating. Unmute,
I would,
mate.
as I said, it's nothing unusual. I think, as I say, we'll be fine as long as we keep the ball moving quickly. We keep moving it side to side. We're looking for those runs into the channels, into the half spaces. But again, we just have to have that little bit of intelligence. And as I say, you need that little bit of luck. And if there's a little bit of luck that kind of goes even Gyökeres' way, where you kind of, you get a bounce that's the right, we don't often get that. When I talk about like where you suddenly look at where a ball get ricochets or whatever, and it goes into the path of. It's like City used to do it all the time. I literally have you work in there, and there'll be a ricochet off 2 players, and all of a sudden it'll land at someone's feet. And we don't always tend to have that.
No.
So, yeah, no, I said I think it'll be good. I think we've got enough about us, and if we are moving the ball around quickly, look, Reece James does look like he's gonna be playing.
Yeah,
by the looks of it,
that's a big bonus for us.
Well, for them, but
well, if he unless he falls over injured, that's.
I thought you said he wasn't playing. I apologise. He is playing, is he?
He looks like he's
Right. It's not
Rosenior's press conference has kind of said, well, picking up a little bit. So he said Reece James is absolutely fine.
Right. So we'll have to take care of him then.
Yeah, Lavia is getting stronger and stronger, but I'm guessing, I mean, they're in practice, they're in training. It's you wonder whether or not they are going to play some form of time. But you've then got to look at, obviously, Champions League is going to be a massive carrot for them, isn't it? Really, when you look at it like that, they've got some big games coming up. So is it worth the risk, or is it just give him a little bit longer? So that's probably going to play into the minds of him as well.
So, well said, mate. Yeah, I agree. We had a ricochet goal really against Tottenham, didn't we? Eze's second goal was a ricochet goal. I just want to go back to the Tottenham game quickly for 1 second. That pass to Gyökeres from Timber for that goal was sublime, absolutely sublime. But there we go. Right, guys, before we get into the nitty gritty of the predicted 11, I just want to quickly jump into the chat one more time. So here we go, Aisha. Who let that yank talk for that long? I thought we were suddenly watching Saturday Night Live. Okay. we invited him, Alicia, and he's allowed to say what he likes. So there you go. Gyökeres is only getting the flack. He is because he's wearing the number 14. I still maintain if he wasn't given that weight on his shoulders, we would have all eyes on him in the same way. Is that same way or some way? Same way. Yeah.
In the same way.
Yeah. I did read that right. That's okay. Emerson's come up with Zubamendi and Caicedo and Timber and Neto and Hencape and Garnacho. Okay, I'd love to know what reference that was in, but
that's matchups who
oh, right. Okay, I get it. Right, so have I jumped one here? No, I haven't. That's cool. Right, I want to do predicted 11s before we've got 2 more sections after that, but I want to just do predicted 11s. Can we all do it together? Is that okay?
Yeah.
So it saves a bit of time. So, Paul, you lead it, mate. Back 4. Who do you want?
I'd like Calafiori. I would like Saliba, Gabriel, and I would probably be looking Ben White or Mascara.
And I take it you want Raya in goal, yeah?
Yeah, Raya in goal. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Any changes to that, Richard?
No, it's White Mascara on the right. Saliba, Gabriel, Calafiori, and Raya's number one keeper. I don't see changing it for this.
Brian, any changes you would make that Paul said, or are you happy with what Paul said?
Well, duh. I want Kepa in goal instead of David Raya, and I don't care what y'all say.
Oh,
Left.
God.
Left. Well, no. Think about this.
Can I kick him off the show? Can I?
Yeah, I know, right? This is my last one. It's been nice. No, I will say, like, aside from my just abject hatred of David Raya between the sticks, I feel like Kepa has something to prove as well against Chelsea. Plus, he had a really good game against Chelsea or both games in the Carabao Cup. I mean, you look at Madueke, he definitely plays with a chip on his shoulder, when we played Chelsea this year. But yes, I would put Kepa. Don't come at me. I don't care. I would put
Kepa,
and then
Kepa,
left, right.
Kepa had a chip on his shoulder on the first leg, didn't he? But he gave him a goal.
He was trying too hard.
So what's your back four then, Brian? Come on.
Going left to right, I'd have Calafiori, Big Gabby, Saliba, and Ben White.
See, I'd like to see Ben White, but I think, like Paul said, Mascara's earned the place as well, because when he came on for Timber, he played really well. But anyway, so yeah, that's the back four. So we're going into the midfield. Lead the midfield, Paul.
Well, I think it calls itself. Need to know and work out how fit Odegaard is, but I still think it's going to be Rice, Zubimendi, and Odegaard.
Oh, right, okay.
If it isn't, and he's not fit, then Eze's played himself into the team through last week.
Yeah, most definitely. Richard, agree, disagree?
I agree. I mean, if I was to, the only if you were to switch it up, you put Madueke out on the right, and you put Saka in if Odegaard's not fit, but that would be really harsh on Eze, considering. But for me, if fully fit, it's Royce, Zubimendi, and Odegaard without a doubt, and then Eze, because he's earned that place. But if you wanted to just throw a curveball in there, that would be my curveball. Saka and Madueke interchanging on that right.
Yeah, well, we'll get to that in a second. Do you agree with that midfield, Brian, or would you rather see Norgard, or because you like boring plays because you want Kepa in goal? So
that's just because I don't like David Raya. Like I would like you in goal instead of David Raya.
Okay, fair enough. So what would your midfield be, bro?
So I would do the single pivot with the 2/8s. I would put Rice at the left 8. I would actually bring in Norgard for this game.
I called it.
Hear me out. Not because I like Norgard better than Zubimendi, because I love Zubimendi, right. But he's getting a lot of miles in his legs this season, and like we need to try and save him for the run in. And I would put Eze at the right 8. You go with the hot hand, and I personally don't like Saka in a 10 role or in a forward, a more forward box to box. He, in my opinion, he's much better out on the wing.
Okay.
Can I just add something
quickly? Yeah.
Newsflash, Brian. It's 10 games to go. It is the running.
You know what I mean? It's not just the league. It's not just the league. We've got,
and I don't think Des in goal is really going to help either.
I beg your pardon. I was a good.
I'm just putting it out there. I'm just.
He might have done better with the Mawani one because he could fall on the ball.
And no, Richard, we've
You're not wrong, Rich.
Like Richard, we've probably got 20 games left to play this season. We've got 10 left in the league. We've got, fingers crossed, 7 left in the Champions League if we get to the final. We've got at least 3 games, maybe 4. I can't remember the count in the FA Cup. So we need to save legs. We need to save legs.
Aisha, give us your lineup as well. I want your lineup in the chat because Emerson's done it. I'm going to bring it on the screen in a moment, Emerson. Right. Players up front. Paul, who do you want?
I'm going to go. There's something in me that I'd always love to see Saka on the left again, and then have Madueke on the right, and then Gyökeres through. But I think he'll go with the standard, and that will be, I think, Trossard, Gyökeres down the middle, and then Saka on the right hand side.
Can I just throw a curveball in there a bit myself? When he's played Saka down the middle, he's played quite well as well.
And he's played, he's played what, 2 games?
Yeah, no, but he's played 2 games. He's played quite well when he's played there.
Oh yeah, I know. I think that comes when there is no real option. I think that's where you kind of been pushed into a corner where you've kind of obviously got to try and make something happen. I don't think that's. He might say that that's something for the future or whatever, but I don't think that is one that you'll be wanting to regularly do in this process. It might surprise me, but as I said, when everyone is fit and you're looking at those players that are in there, and he then picks Saka to kind of play instead of them, then again, it does send a message to them as well. And I think he still offers a lot of value on that right hand side. But I'm still in this impression that we're going to see players having 45, 50 minutes and then swapping out, and everyone is keeping fresh. And it means Saka plays, Madueke plays. Everyone is basically getting a good old dip with the playing time. And that's something obviously we haven't had.
Okay, so Brian, your front three, same as Paul or different?
So I don't necessarily like the idea of Saka out on the left, not because he's not good enough, but because his first mindset is always going to be to shoot the ball. And he's left-footed, he's got a right foot, but what he would predominantly do if he was using his left foot is cross the ball in, right? And he doesn't like Gyökeres. Like I don't know if he call me a liar. Call me
Liar.
So
wasn't it Eze who didn't play him in?
Big fat liar.
We've gone over this. Saka does, you can't pay Saka to get Gyökeres the ball.
It seems that way. I've got to agree with Brian. It seems that way at the moment. He seems really greedy. We had this massive debate at the watchalong, didn't we, guys? And I'm on Brian's side on this one. Even though he's a big fat liar, I'm on Brian's side for this one.
I can't be a liar if I'm right.
Yeah, you can.
You can
far away and say what I like, mate.
All right. So anyway, I would put Trossard on the left. I'd put Gyökeres at the 9, and I'd put Madueke. I would start Madueke.
Okay. Fair
I would start Madueke.
Richard, the floor's yours.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to keep it simple and be basic. We got Brighton midweek, and you want 50, 60 minutes in Saka's and Martinelli's and Gyökeres legs. Have a game one, then bring on Jesus, Madueke, and Martinelli to finish games off. But they're my starting three: Trossard, Gyökeres, and Saka. I don't see him changing it that much.
When's Havertz supposed to come back?
They were hoping he was going to be back for this one, but it doesn't look like it, does it?
Yeah, he's in training, so I think they're going to do. He's come back. They're going to do another assessment on Saturday.
So
here's
sorry, go on, Paul.
No, that's it. So they'll be literally looking at him on Saturday and then seeing what he's how good he is.
What's the bet when someone gets injured in the warm up? Anyway, I digress. Emerson's gone for Raya. Sorry, Brian. Raya, Timber, Saliba, Gabriel, Hincape, Zubimende, Eze, Rice, Martinelli, Gyökeres, and Saka. He says that, and he's gone for the subs as well. Kepa, Miles, Mosquera, Madueke. Hold on. Did I not just? No, I didn't. Madueke, Odegaard, Norgard, Trossard, Jesus, and Dalman on standby.
Yeah, he's playing in the under-21s tonight, I believe. And Havertz, if he passes the late fitness test tomorrow, you can guarantee he'll be on the bench.
Okay, so these are questions for the chat. If there's anybody who wants to answer these, who's going to be the first goal scorer? Arsenal clean sheet, yes, yes or no? Let me know these in the chat, guys. And do you think anybody will get a red card? There you go.
Sounds like you're trying to get set up to just confirm your bet for the game.
Sorry, did I make it sound like that?
Yeah, it didn't look like
I'm 50-50 on that.
I'm going down the bookings after this game. So I'm off down.
Yeah,
you know, I'm off.
There's his bet builder challenge. That's it.
Yeah. I'm trying to make an accumulator, guys. Can you help us out? Emerson's gone for an OG, as always. There we go. We'll get into the predictions in a minute, Emerson. Right, Brian. We've come to the part of the show. Oh, before I go to Brian's thing quickly, don't forget, guys, give us a like, a share, a subscribe. This is In the North Bank. We talk Arsenal. We love Arsenal. And just give us a thumbs up and hit that notification just because you're here, basically, and listening to us lot waffle on. So fair play. Brian, it's time for your hot take. Are you ready? Shall I do the intro? Brian's hot take of the week. Be careful, you'll burn yourself.
All right. Here's my hot take.
Go on, quick, go on.
So over the past week, we've heard rumors about City's charges, finally getting adjudicated, and there's been this idea that they could have a 60-point a 60-point deduction, and all this bullshit. I think that the only proper punishment for City, because they essentially cheated the league, like they cheated the sport, they ruined the sporting integrity of it. I think that the only reasonable thing is just kick them out of the Premier League. Just say, GTFO, and then to vacate, all the titles that they won during that period. However, I don't think that all the years that we finished second, I don't think they should give those titles to us, because at the end of the day,
we haven't earned them. We haven't earned them.
Well, exactly. Like the issue is not the football that City was playing. The issue is how they got the players to play that football. So yes, we finished second, but we finished second, if that makes sense. And if we took those, if we decided to take those titles, no, they'd have asterisks next to them.
Yeah. I came up with an idea instead of a 60-point deduction, because I don't think that's a harsh enough punishment. I think they should be given a 25-point deduction for 3 years. Yeah, every season for 3 years. Drop down 2 divisions and a 5-year transfer ban. That would punish them.
Well, see here, so here's something funny that I read. So there was an article from a few years ago where, going on the assumption that that City would get, yeeted out of the Premier League. Apparently, there was no mechanism in the football league, bylaws, contract, whatever like that, to accept a team that just gets kicked out of the league. because I guess like the official way to get into the league and get out of the league and everything like that is through promotion or relegation. So theoretically, City could have gotten kicked out of the league and had to go all the way down to the National League and work their way back. And that would be amazing.
So that's your hot take of the week, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Brian's hot take of the week. Had nothing to do with the Arsenal-Chelsea game, but so he
doesn't have to.
This week was a bit tepid.
It wasn't that hot.
I mean, I wouldn't like the trophies anyway, or the awards.
You'd still take them?
No, I wouldn't. No.
You wouldn't? No.
I'd have them.
We don't know.
They need to be. It was interesting. Just before we kind of move on, it was like you hear City fans, and it would be, I don't care. We've lived it. We've done it. We've won it all. Blah blah blah. Don't care. Obviously, the other foot, they'd be absolutely up in the air. So remove them. Get them removed from the records. If you actually go back, look, it was 2009 when these issues first started occurring. We just
nearly 20 years to sort it out.
Well, look, it's over a period of about 7 years, I think it was. 7 or 9 years, I think it was. I think that was it, or was it not 2009 to 15 or something? So whatever, I don't know. It's a long period, but we've not only at that point had to obviously build the Emirates, be dealing with our strict kind of structure, selling players to actually kind of keep going. We've had Chelsea come in, change the demographics. Then we get City, and this was the age of the mercenary. And they took, was it six of our players at a time when we were really trying to so hard. And this is why I've really got so much respect for Wenger, because he got let down so much by the playing staff around those times, and they went for money. Look at Nasri, Adebayor. You know what I mean? Clichy. You know what I mean? It's look, Kolo Touré went eventually.
Yep.
And you look at it and you think from that period on, we finished like fourth, I think it was. Fourth on that 2009 season. Then when obviously it all kind of starts kicking in, we're still in and around. And then we just gradually, City are nowhere kind of near. Yeah, they're still sitting in fifth. And then over that time comes the slow strangulation of us as a football club. We weren't able to kind of deal with Man City, with Chelsea, with the constraints on ourselves. And we now look at that kind of festering of 20 odd years being that team that has always struggled, always tried to do things the right way. We are here now reaping rewards from that. Now, look what we've got. Imagine, just remember how bad it was to how it is now, and why you can't, as a supporter, back your team every week. So that's my little kind of little rant. So I've just added there a little bit of context on that side.
No, I'll take it back, Brian. It was a very, very good hot take.
For me, City are only guilty once that verdict comes out, and you make your decision from that report. You read it, and then then I think for City and their fans, even if it's only the non-compliance that they're found guilty of, everyone will think they're guilty regardless. They have to be either cleared of everything or charged with everything for there to be is for it to be either way for either set of fans, because City fans will say if it's non-compliance, we're not guilty, and the opposing fans will say no, you're guilty, and if it's everything, it'll be the other. It'll be the other way round.
Yeah, but Rich, to back you up a bit here, mate, right? Even if they're found innocent, then the game's corrupt, or not the game.
The game loses anyway, doesn't it?
The game loses, right? But even if they're found innocent, it's still a stain against Man City because it won't be forgotten.
No, and as I said, if they're found innocent,
yeah,
the league's incompetent. It's taken them this long to bring a case and not get a conviction.
Okay.
If they get a conviction,
yeah,
they're still incompetent because it's taken them this long.
Yeah,
and it took a European case to get the ball rolling. So,
but if they were going to be cleared, like if they were going to be cleared of the charges, the verdict would have already come out.
Not necessarily. You got to remember.
Sure, it would have. Sure, it would have.
You've got to remember the people overseeing this are QCs. This isn't their only job. They have hundreds of other cases. They're financial QCs as well, so they deal with corporate fraud. So this isn't their only cases that they will deal with.
Right. No, I get that.
I heard that guy, the Kieran Maguire, who come out and done the interview, and he said basically the guys that are sitting on that panel, it's so hard for them to get around a table together at the same point because they are senior people, like obviously well up and whatever. So getting them all around as well has delayed any form of.
And you've also got.
And I'm calling bullshit on that. I am 100% calling bullshit.
Because City took the Premier League to task over the payments and the loan system. So
right, but we're missing the overall point here. We're missing the overall point here. If you know that you didn't do anything wrong. I mean, I guess you could go both ways on this, but I mean, City brought in like an army of lawyers, like it looked like a goddamn battalion of dudes walking into wherever the hell it was, because I saw a picture of it, and you don't fight like that unless you know that you're guilty. You just don't. And if City were going to be clear to this stuff, the Premier League would just want to clear them and move on. And don't give me that bullshit about, and this isn't bullshit from you, Paul, that like this is bullshit from the media and everything like that. Don't give me that bullshit that these three guys can't get around a table. This is the 21st effing century. And I'm glad I put myself there. This is the 21st century. And this is probably their most high profile case that they have, and they know that. So I think that they've already come to the verdict. City doesn't like it, and City's fighting to appeal it. That's what I think is happening.
Well, look, you go back to that period where, what was it? Was it last January, and they signed the group of like young players, about 4, 5, 6 young players.
Yeah.
Not in the kilt of what normally City would go and buy. That stunk of a team looking to say, right, okay, look, we're going to get these unproven youngsters in because they're probably going to save us from getting out of the Championship or whatever like that. And that kind of thing. If they got done, they would then have those players to kind of come in and almost prove themselves. Still dragged on and on and on and on. I had another guy about
City were future proofing. That's exactly what they were doing. They were future proofing.
But they said another guy was saying about the actual. Sorry, last one before the punishment. Points deductions over 5 years. Yeah, so whether or not that's 10 points, whatever, or 4 years, 12 points off for the next 4 years, and then also a 25 or 50 million pound fine per year.
You can't
Just
But that,
You
but
can't
just
that
remember-
doesn't matter.
you can't hit
remember
Man City
the-
in the pocket. You can't hit that.
but then
that's not punishment.
but the FFP on that side, they'll always have that 50 million deficit to start with, and obviously if that is going over a period,
that's more understandable.
that's
Yeah,
then
right.
gonna then affect them more, where they're not gonna be able to spend the money like they've been spending because they've already got that in.
The thing is, though,
A points deduction isn't going to do any good though, because they're still
No.
playing with a FIFA Ultimate Team.
No, but as I said, it would mean that would be for 4 or 5 years. They would, if they've got 10, 15 point deduction, they're not going to go walk away with a league, especially when they can't actually
drop them a
go
couple
and
of leagues as well,
sign.
mate. Drop 'em.
Well, yeah. Well, again,
I
this
mean,
is what I'm saying.
did it
It's
to Juve.
you either do it all in one. You either do it all in one, and you basically say, right, okay, well, it's done. I just don't want it to be done after the season's done.
Can I just say, right? Drop them to League Two, right? As an example.
If they're guilty, yeah.
Yeah. And the reason that would be good
No.
for the game, and I'll tell you the one reason. Wait a second. I'll tell you, and this is legit now. I'll tell you the one reason why it would be good for the game, right? They're at Preston North End.
I know where you're going with this.
If they're at Preston North End or whatever, or Accrington Stanley, think of the paydays they're going to get, right, for playing Man City. It's good for the game. It's giving something back to the lower clubs. You know what I mean? If right, so you go down the Emirates, the Etihad, not the Emirates, the Etihad, right, and they're giving you what, 30,000 tickets, let's say, just for argument's sake. It's a good payday for your club. You're giving something back to the game. Plus, you're still punishing Man City because they've still
the only fans that would be at the Etihad in that case would be away fans.
Well, probably so. But you see the point I'm trying to make.
Yes.
Oh, that's a really, really good point.
The reason why that will never happen. The Premier League will never see. They will not just kick them out of the league. They might give them a points deduction and see where it stands, because they bring in money. The stars that they have on their books bring in sponsorship revenue, TV revenue.
No, I get that, but I'm just saying for the game it would be good, Rich, if they could drop them a couple.
It might well be, but it will never happen. Because
hold on a minute, then you've set a precedent with Rangers. You should carry on that precedent.
Rangers and the Scottish League don't get the money and the attention and the revenue that the Premier League and the best team in the Premier League in the recent years in the Premier League, with the likes of Haaland and such, bring into it.
But City doesn't have as many fans as you think they do.
No, it's not. It's not about fans. It's about those companies that like the image of Haaland, the credit cards,
yeah, but that's bullshit. I'm going to swear that's bollocks. That's absolute bollocks. Because
That's not a cuss word.
Well, it is for me. All right. Richard, I'm not saying you're wrong. Don't get me wrong. I'm not. But keep them in the league because of money, because of how good Haaland. What a load of shite.
No, because I mean, you look at
you're meant to be punished
because of the money they attract.
If you're meant to be punished,
you look at Juventus. You look at Juventus from what I think maybe 10 years ago, something like that, when there was that whole thing where they were essentially, not paying refs, but they were working with the central referee office to get certain refs, and they relegated them down to Serie B.
If you're going to make, look, listen, 20 years ago, who were Man City? Where were Man City? Money's got them to where they are, but money's going to keep them where they are because the league needs it. That's bullshit.
Why do you,
The league
why do you think UEFA didn't kick and didn't appeal the decision? Because financially, it wasn't a good look. It didn't make financial sense to them.
It's still bullshit, Richard. What it tells me is if you've got the money, you can do what you like.
Yeah.
That's real life, isn't it? How many rich people and billionaires and such get away with crap because they can pay?
I mean, yeah, yes, like technically that's correct, but like we're still looking at the sporting integrity here.
So there's half a billion bits of evidence. They're as corrupt as French Connection.
Well, you don't know they're corrupt because we don't know. We haven't seen the verdict. Until we've seen that verdict, you can't say either way.
Oh, okay. So then let's take a societal parallel to this. Jeffrey Epstein, who did not kill himself, and I will die on that hill.
Okay.
Wait, you don't know who Jeffrey Epstein is?
No, I'm just wondering where you're going with this.
There are 3 million documents that talk about all the people that he interacted with. And there's, I mean, don't get me wrong, there's some crazy shit in there that I can't.
That's another show, Brian. That's another show.
But everybody knows that Jeffrey Epstein was guilty. Everybody knows it. And it's the same parallel here. You don't get that much evidence and that many documents and everything like that if you're not guilty.
That's evidence from both sides. And
but even so, where there's smoke, there's fire.
Yeah, maybe. But don't we live in a society until you're innocent until proven guilty?
I mean, that's very true, but but that's in a court of law. In the court of public opinion, no, they can all take a hike.
Right, guys, I'm sorry, but we need to end this show because we're digressing too much. Great hot topic in the end, Brian. I was only joking. It was a great hot topic. If you can make Paul rant, you've done well on your hot topic, right?
That's true. I'll take credit for that.
I would take a point for that one, mate. Take a point. Look, Richard, I understand where you're coming from because you treat everybody the same as innocent until proven guilty, but there's got to be some element of guilt there, mate. There's got to be.
I've got a better idea for a punishment.
Go on.
Is we get the shaking his brothers and that, and we line them up, and I taser them for 5 hours straight.
Do you know what? If it was in their country and it was fraud, they'd probably be,
mm-hmm.
You know, yeah. I'm not going there because it's not right, but you know what I'm saying. Anyway, before we go on to the very final bit of this show, it's been a great show. Thank you, guys. You've been amazing. Thank you very much, Brian. The best way for Man City is
it's not. No, it's not. Not in a single season. That does.
I agree.
If you'll pardon the language, that does fuck all.
Fair enough. Yeah, I'll let you have that one. All right, no worries. Right, we've come to it. The final bit of the show, guys. Thank the gods. We're just going to go into predictions because we need to end this one because we've overrun quite a bit. So, Paul, prediction, please, mate.
3-1 Arsenal.
Nice. Do you want to try and give us the goal scorers?
Gyökeres with 1.
Gyökeres with 1. Do you know what? I called it on Sunday. If you watch the shorts, I said, let's have a brace out of you, Gyökeres, and we got a brace. So I'd like another brace out of him, I've got to be honest. Brian, prediction, mate.
I'm going to go 3-0. I'm going to say Gyökeres is going to have a brace. And just real quick, I want to call it back to the goals that he scored on Sunday. Mm-hmm. Just the technique. Those looked like a golf swing. Well, those were beautiful.
I said it in the show, mate. The second one had Terry Henry written all over it.
Mm-hmm. Like it was just.
Paul, were you there? Paul?
No. I'm lucky to not. I nearly would end up being in the home end.
Right, okay.
I declined it. Yeah.
Richard, mate, your prediction, bro. Your prediction.
3-1 for me. Big Gabby with the opener and the Gyökeres brace.
Yeah, I'm going to go 2-0. I'm sorry, I thought you finished, mate. Say again.
And Palmer to score there 1.
Oh, okay. I'm going to go 2-0 to the Arsenal. Gyökeres to score 1 or a brace. And if he only scores 1, I'm going to say Big Gabby with a set piece, maybe. And Emerson has gone 3-1. He loves this own goal thing, doesn't he?
You got to get him a kit that says own goal.
Own goal, Rice, Saka, or Gyökeres. So take your pick, basically.
No, okay. I think theirs is the own goal.
Yeah. So, guys, thank you very much for coming to the end of this one. Paul, thank you for your time. Oh, he's talking to someone. I'll come back to him in a second. Brian, thank you for your time, mate, and your hot take. It was spot on. Thanks a lot, fella.
Hey, thanks. Thanks for letting me come on and spout bullshit, dude.
Well, it was all right. I did the same, so it's all right. We're all guilty. Paul, thanks a lot for coming on, mate. Giving us
no worries, mate.
Time.
Cheers.
Richard, thanks a lot for being here, mate, and putting all them slides together.
As always.
And giving me my pointers. I do appreciate it. A big thank you to everybody listening, watching, whatever you're doing. Take care of yourselves. Don't forget, on Sunday is the watch along. Arsenal versus Chelsea at the Emirates. Be there with us to watch it. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And take care of each other. And look after each other. And on 3, gentlemen. 1, 2, 3. Come on, you
Gunners.
How do you, Arsenal?
You lot can't count. And, of course, Paul has to be different. Right, okay. That's fine. No, peace. We're out of here, guys. Thank you very much. See you next time.